Greetings to all. Today's lesson is based on developing the surface of the branch solid. Which one is a branch solid here? It is this triangle here, which we have n point 1, 2, 3. We also have turning points A and B. And then we have the front view on this side here, which has the same thing. Now, why is it important that you only use these two views? You could have used the top view also, but with these two views, that's enough for you so that you can get your development. Development means that we're going to open up this thing to see the actual distances from 2 to number 2 endpoints, from 1 to number 1 endpoint, and also the distance from the base to the turning point. Now, it means then we need to know the true length of the line 1, 2, the true length of 2, 3, the true length of 1, 3. So the front view does not give us the true length of the line. As you can see that this line here is shorter than that line. If you look at 1, 2, it is actually the true length of a line. Remember, the method of finding a true length is that one of the lines must be parallel to xy. So in this case, 1, 2 is parallel to xy. It then makes this line here 1, 2 the true length of the line. Remember, 1, 2, 2, 3, and 3, 1, they are all equal. Now, what we need to understand is that we are starting from 1 and we're going to end up at 1. So we're creating a seam here at 1, which we're going to start with. So without any waste of time, I'm going to draw a construction line, assuming that is where you want to start your development. And the development can be drawn anywhere on the page depending on the size. So what I then do is I take the distance of 1A. I measure the distance of 1A with my compasses. Now that distance I can start either on the right hand side or on the left hand side, assuming that I decide to start there. So this is the first cut. Now remember, that's like this. That would 1, and then I'm on 2, then I go to 3, then I go back to number 1. Now that I have done that, I then go to the end points. Maybe we should label this so that we can see exactly what point we have found. This is number 1, this would be number 2, that would be number 3, and go back to number 1 at all times. I then have to take the turning points, because if you go from 1 to number 2, there is a turning point A here that we see. Again, I'm going to use my compasses to get the point from 1 to A. Now place it on 1. That is A. Is there anything from 2 to 3? No. Therefore, we skip this 2 to 3. Then there is something from 3 to B. So if you look at that distance, we can do it like that. Or we can start from 1 to B. Then we can reverse and say 1 to B. It will be the same thing. Now that we have that, then now I can now label these and say this is point A and that is point B. Now I need to construct light lines so that I'm able to join them. Say that's 1, there is A, that's 2, and there is 3, that is B, and this is 1. So now that I have done that, it means the right view, I'm not going to use it anymore because I have everything that I needed on the right view. Now comes in the front view. Now the front view, I'm going to start with the end points. Let's start on the base 1. So I'm taking distances of 1 to 1. 1 to 1. Right, so I'm going to place it on 1 and then I will scribe an arc. That's 1. Then I go to 1 on the right hand side, and then scribe an arc on line 1. So it means I found 1. Now number 2 and number 3, remember in this case they are the same distance, so I'm going to use 3 and 2 will be the same, of course. Then I say place my compass on 2, scribe an arc, place my compass on 3, scribe an arc. So I've done with the end points. Now I need to do the turning points. We're starting from the base at all times. So I don't have a line that is touching the base. So I'm going to project B to the base, project A to the base. In this case, the distance of A and B to the base, they are both equal. So I just measure 1. Now using my compass again, from the base to the turning point B, that's the distance, and then that will be the same thing. Then I go and cut at A, and then scribe an arc on B. So now I've got to join these points from 1, which is what you follow here, 1A, 2, 3B, back to 1. That's how you follow it, just like how we got that one there. So I'm going to start like this and say 1 goes to A, then A goes to number 2, number 2 goes to number 3. Remember number 3 and number 2 same height, and then number 3 goes to B. From B I go back to A. Okay, now once that is complete, now I look at the end points. It's 2 to number 2, it's 1 to number 1, is 3 to number 3. All these needs to be dug from 1 to number 1, and then end points only 2 to number 2, end points only 3 to number 3, and then lastly we do number 1. It goes there. We don't make the turning points dark at all, because remember, this is just a construction. This is not solid. So from 1 to 1 on the base we make that dark. Now this will be your development of the branch solid that you see here after it's been opened, and then you can put the label there and say development. So between 3mm spacing, you put the label there, development. Thank you for watching.